Hey, it's Heather.
Hey, it's Heather.
Hey, it's Heather.
Hey, it's Heather.
And welcome
to another episode of
Adventure in Gardening.
Hey guys, it is the end of week 8 and you actually will not be seeing my face today. I am currently I'm going into my 4th week of Lyme disease treatment, and I was hoping to skate through the whole process and never have to mention it, but this is a very intensive treatment, way beyond the normal doxycycline, which I've done a couple times already. And Lyme is proving much harder to get out of the body than to get in the body. And so it feels worse than it did at any given point. A lot of different things going on. I'm hoping at the end of the 6-week treatment I'll be able to fill you all in, because as gardeners, being outside with ticks, that is something that we should all know about. Now, I have kicked these guys out so that I could record this video quickly today. Psst, psst. This is Priscilla and Mr. Peanut, and there's Penelope over there. And we still have some snow on the ground outside. So I want to talk first of all I want to give you an update on the onions that I sowed a few weeks ago. Just as a reminder, the reason I didn't want to let any more time go by before I recorded a video, whether I can be in the video or not, was because my goal was to kind of have you guys follow along and what should we be doing right now. And things are about to get real. I'll show you the calendar in just a minute. But so the onions have done very well, and my system right now at this time of year, because it's just a couple of trays that I will be needing to go outside into more sunlight. I have a cart that I wheeled out this morning. I'll show you. So what I do with the onions this time of year, or the cat just went in, or any other seedling that is in need of a lot more sun than I can give it inside, is I put the domes back on. Now you need to know what kind of seedling you're dealing with, and so this is a cool weather loving seedling, these onions are. So as long as the temperature is going to hit around 40 degrees, I'm going to put it outside with the dome on, vented, and I have learned the hard way that I need to tie the lids down in case there's wind. Now you'll also notice that the lavender, remember I told you the lavender, I brought it in when the weather was about to get really, really cold. I said don't wake up. It totally woke up. But they are branching beautifully, so I'm putting them outside during the day and just keeping them watered. So these are the lavender that I started in the fall. All right, so here's what we got going on the potting bench. Now, these are the dahlias. I have to keep this on top of the dahlias, otherwise I've walked in and Penny has been nestled in the dirt because this is still on a heat mat here. I took the dome off of this tray this morning. So in this tray, so last week I started the lavender that I had cold stratified. Okay, I started petunias, the supertunias, and I started hosta. Okay, that hosta I also cold stratified. Now I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I'm gonna need a pointer, hold on. So I noticed this morning, I took the dome off of this just for a little while. Look, there is a hosta seedling right there. There's a hosta seedling right there, okay? So those have come up. Now also I took the celery, I planted celery last week and I planted celeriac last week. Little tiny celeriacs, all right? And the reason that I'm starting these, I try not to make too much extra work for myself. So I start the plants, the seedlings first that need to be started first. The things that need more time. This is celery. Look, there's the celery coming up. All right, so now they're in the front row here. They will not be going outside. They're not going to appreciate, they're not going to grow nice and big and strong and fast like I need them to grow because they need the longer amount of time. So they'll be staying close to the window until I get heat in the greenhouse, which is basically right now just a big cold frame because it's not heated. Now the other things here that I have snapdragons. I started snapdragons last week. See the little snapdragon seedlings? I have been prepping for this video for most of the morning, and man, they have stretched since then. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these guys now, and also Welsh onions. I started Welsh onions for my sister and I. So all of that was started last week. Now, does that mean that you're behind if you haven't started them? No, it means you have a window, and this is the window right now. So, you know, you're going to want to go ahead and if you want to start snapdragons and Welsh onions and celery and celeriac, you're going to want to get some seeds and get them started. Now, also a little update on the little succulents. See the succulents back there? They look really good. So those will be for my containers outside in the summertime. And the dahlias just started. See the new growth right there? Okay. These are the dahlias that I'm waking up early so that I can do cuttings from them. That's the only one that is awake. And there is my pepper right here that I've been overwintering, and there's the letter T, my succulent tea that's for the garden gate this summer. So today I want to show you the seeds. I got a couple things I want to do, and I want to show you the seeds that I got in this week. Okay, before I show you my seed haul this week, I want to get these snapdragons in this tray, okay, and the Welsh onions. All right, and the reason that I'm going to be putting these outside is because they can take the cool air outside, okay, but they need sunlight. They need lots and lots of sunlight, more than I can give them in here. So I'm going to put a lid on them. A dome. And I'm actually not going to vent this one. I love these big domes. And I'm going to put this out on the cart first. So I just got in another order from Baker Creek, and I ordered motherwort, medicinal plant, and also a very beautiful, herb. I ordered this oregano, sweet peas. I love this bee balm. I grew this one years ago, so I'm looking forward to that. This nasturtium is, I'm going to be planting it on the ground in front of where I did the elephant ear, the calicasia last year, so I'm going to do a big row of nasturtiums there. I think that'll look really pretty. I got my free seed. Thank you. And I also got bachelor buttons, and I got these black peonies. Excuse me, the black peony poppies. It's been years since I've grown poppies, but so poppies don't like to have their roots disturbed. You'll see a lot of people, and I'm actually going to do this as well. I'm going to sow them two different ways. I'm going to sprinkle some on the snow outside, and I'm also going to do them in peat pots because I'm going to lay mulch down in the spring, and I don't want to cover them. So I'm going to be sowing these today and the bachelor buttons. Oh, I also got an order from High Mowing Seeds in. Let's see if I can get this out. Okay, I did not need a new cucumber, but I watched a video, and the person I was watching like raved about this silver slicer cucumber. They are known for their powdery mildew resistance, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, and they're prolific. So, and I forget how many days to maturity this is. 52 days to maturity. Okay. Now, so all of the incoming seeds obviously I've had a lot of downtime lately, which drives me crazy. So all the seeds are now on the calendar. So speaking of the calendar, let me show you because it's about to get really busy. Okay, so next week, so again, these are windows, and I will go ahead and usually put things on the first or the second day of the week, and then I can be flexible, but we're going to be doing a lot more sowing of seeds in March, and then in April as well. Those are our big months for sowing seeds. Okay, as you can see, this one right here. As soon as I let them in, they want the closest position to the window to look outside. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. I have 2 trays of peat pots here with, this is actually not seed starting soil, and you know how I feel about seed starting soil and starting seeds. But the poppies and the Bachelor button are actually going to go straight outside. I'm going to put them in a sheltered spot outside. And so outside seed starting, you don't have to deal with a lot of the same things that you deal with inside. We use sterile potting mixes inside. These are sterile potting mixes, and this is regular garden soil. So I'm going to do a whole tray of the poppies and a whole tray of the Bachelor buttons. And when I open my seed pack, I open it very, very, very carefully. Because, oh, look at all the poppy seeds. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there are going to be way more poppy seeds in here than I actually need, okay, or that I will actually be using. But so I am going to, let's see. I'm going to use, I am not left-handed, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. All right. So I only want like maybe 3 seeds in each one, and I'm going to just tap it. Yeah, that looks like 3. This soil is already watered. Woohoo, that was like 10. Okay, all right. That's all right, we'll thin them after. So I'm hoping that these are just going to take off, and then I will have poppies for the rest of my life. So the rest of these, I have an area outside where I'm going to go ahead and just sow them right on the snow. And I'm going to barely even, okay, on covering these just a little bit. I know, Priscilla, sorry. Ooh, look at these seeds. So before I went down for the count with the Lyme disease treatment, I did record a video that I'm really eager to share with you guys on on monarch butterflies. So look for that in the next week or so. And the other thing that we did is, and this was right before treatment, is we went on a little field trip that I want to show you. We went to a garden center called Garden Barn, and that is in Connecticut. And I want to share some clips of our little trip there. And we'll be going back there again when they are in full swing of their season, because right now it was just their indoor stuff, and they had a lot of beautiful houseplants and wonderful, beautiful gift shop. So let me show you a clip of that. All right, so the rest of these seeds are going to go direct outside onto the ground. For things that you're not really supposed to start in containers because they don't like their roots disturbed, like these two things, I use the biodegradable pots, and I will actually cut the top portion off when I put it in the ground, so that the whole thing does degrade. Because I have found that if you don't get this portion of the biodegradable pot under the soil, it like doesn't degrade. And if the sun is still hitting it, it doesn't degrade. So that's how I'll take care of that. All right, it is time to transplant my coleus seedlings here. And I know the sun is a little weird. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stick, and I'm just going to prick them out. I'm going to barely disturb them here, all right? Okay. And I'm going to stick them in these clay pots because these are going to go back in the kitchen on the windowsill. Trying really hard not to disturb them too much, because I don't really want them to notice that they've even been transplanted. So now all the little coleus babies are tucked in. Now when you sow coleus and grow them from seed, you never know what you're going to get, okay? It might look something like the parent. I might get a new discovery. Oh, there's 2 in there. That's okay. So these guys, they're still babies. They're still seedlings, so they are in seed starting soil, and they're going to go in the kitchen on the windowsill where it's warm and sunny. So speaking of the kitchen, I want to update you on a couple things in there. But before we go, if you are following along and you're in Zone 6, next week I am going to be sowing the Chinese cabbage and the broccoli romanesco, okay? Now all of these things are figured out based on my frost date, on how many days to maturity for the plant, how much of a head start it needs before it goes outside, or how much a head start I'd like it to have before it goes outside, and also, do I have room for it inside? All right, do I have room for it? So that's why I spread things out, to give myself plenty of time, plenty of space, and not create stress for myself, because this is supposed to be fun. Okay, I wanted to give you an update on my staghorn fern and how nice it's looking and how much new growth I've had since I mounted it here. It just looks fantastic. Now, listen to this noise. I don't know if you can hear that. I hope you can. All right. This is as dry as I let it get before it's time to water it again. And I stick it right in the sink and I just saturate the whole thing. Now that, in a normal room temperature of, 70 degrees, that is equaling about every 3 to 4 days I am soaking this plant. Plus, I also miss the foliage, so it's looking really good. Now, on my windowsill here, how many crops of pea shoots can you get from peas before they fizzle out? The answer is 2, and that's it. So you can see here, even though I have a 3rd crop coming up, it is weak, all right? So the plant is depleted after that. So you get to cut 2 and then it's done. So maybe if you were going to grow peas and you wanted shoots, you cut them once and eat them and then let them grow. It's almost time, all right, it's way past time, all right, for the poinsettias to go, but I really like them. They're so pretty. I've got some watermelon seeds here, but I also wanted to show you, I don't know if I've ever mentioned how frugal I am. I really am. I'm a pretty frugal gardener, and I've spent a lot of money on seeds and other unnamed things. And the sweet potato slips were so expensive, and they're totally worth it, okay? I know they are. But I had these from a local farm, and I'm like, I'm going to try. They were so delicious. They were red-skinned and orange flesh, and they were delicious, and you can see that I have a shoot right here. So I'm going to try doing my own slips for this year. And there's I can't take it out because, let's see, can I see? Yeah, because the roots have adhered to the jar here. All right. Now, when did I start this? All right, so if you're gonna do your own sweet potatoes, slips, you have to start it really early. I started on January 1st. I was cleaning out the basement and I found these sweet potatoes and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try my hand and see if I can do them myself. But so I hope that you have enjoyed this little video that's different than I normally do them, but I didn't want to let any time pass, and I wanted to keep you all up to speed on what I'm doing, and I would love to hear what you're doing as well this time of year. So thumbs up if you've enjoyed visiting with me today, and look for that video on the monarch butterflies, because it really is a lot of fun. So let me know what you're doing in your garden. I would love to hear, especially if you're actually outside gardening. You can see we've got snow still out there. And subscribe if you haven't already, so that we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon. Ouch! Ouch, Penny. She's just kidding.